Hello and welcome today to Enterprise Morning right here at Enterprise Television. It's Thursday and D-Day in Nigeria for the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. You may join our conversation on this special broadcast by having a say in what we say on all our social media handles. We are at Enterprise TV7 and I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Choma Okohe. So we head straight into what's going on nationwide with the following updates. Harry.
Yes, very true. And there we have it, that thousands and perhaps potentially millions of Nigerians are expected to begin 10 days of nationwide protest today.
Yeah, true. And looking at starting from Lagos, the organizers, most of whom are young persons, say they are frustrated by the country's economic conditions and have vowed days of rage in demonstrations.
But government rhetoric has focused largely on playing up fears of a repeat of the October 2020 hashtag EndSARS protest, which started peacefully but turned violent when soldiers were called in at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos.
Very true. And the president, Bola Tinubu, has said he recognizes the right to peaceful protest, but his administration is wary of what says are the dangers associated with demonstrations that are vulnerable to being, quote again, hijacked by so-called criminals.
While the president has begged the youth to shelve the protest, some senior administration officials labeled the protest as unwarranted and politically motivated.
True. And organizers of the protest are calling for the reversal of the fuel price hike, the restoration of affordable electricity tariffs, and the reduction of import duties to their previous rates. The groups also demand the reversal of many institutions' hikes in tertiary education fees.
They are also demanding full transparency and accountability in governance, including public disclosure and the reduction of public officials' salaries and allowances, and an emergency fund to support SMEs. With us today to discuss on this and more, we have Emeka Madunagu, journalist and public affairs analyst, and Barrister Evans Ofili, a barrister at law and public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome today to yet another great time. And of course, there we have it. The D-Day is upon us. And of course, we'll keep bringing to you informative information on all that would go down today. But let's take a look at what we have right about now. And the protesters are calling for a scaling back to where we all started from. Removal of the fuel subsidy should be taken back, and so many other things. But let's concentrate on the removal of fuel subsidy. Right now, fuel goes for 800 to 1,000 naira. We understand the exchange rate. How feasible do you think bringing back fuel subsidy to what it used to be would be for Nigeria?
Yes, it is possible. What government needs to do is to pay the differentials or the difference. What the landing cost is today, okay, is about, according to source, it's about 700 or thereabout, or 800.
8,000 landing cost
per liter.
Yes.
You understand? Government can take it back to 190 naira.
190 naira.
Yes, that was what it was before the increase. Was that not what it was?
No, it's not.
About 200 plus.
It was 197.
190, 197, 190 something now. Have you forgotten?
NNPC was selling 185.
185. So, I mean, that was what it was in 190 something. Yes. And you see, for the interest of because part of the reason they gave is that if you remove subsidy, the government is going to save a lot of money. And that money they are going to save, they will then inject it into the economy to enable the people, get comfortable with an economy that works. You understand? Now, ask them, that money they have saved, now having removed the subsidy, what have they done with it? If you ask the federal government, they will say, go and meet your governors, that they shared it to the states. So you are not serious. You know that governors in Nigeria, they are the biggest problem of this country. Then when you have a windfall, you have gathered money because you removed subsidy. You took it and gave it to governors. How will it get to the people? It will never get to the people. You don't have one governor in Nigeria that have the interests of the people at heart. And they are the ones you are giving money to. Even subsidy, you give it to them. So the federal government planted this seed, a seed of this deceit. And today, that seed has grown to become a monster. Okay? And it's coming back. You understand? I planted, Apollo watered, and God brought the increase. So now the government is on a crossroad. Government begging citizens. The government are all over the place begging people up and down like paupers because of the useless decision they took. You understand? So you are saying, your question is it possible for them to revert? I say it's possible. I'm a huge supporter of subsidy. Government should pay it. Since they have refused to allow the refineries to work or to make it work, even when you now have a workable one, you have refused the workable refinery to get crude to operate. Since you don't want to work anything out, go and pay subsidy. Because that's the solution. Refer to that 190, whatever it is, and begin to pay it. Otherwise, these people will not leave the street. You see this one that the soldiers are out early morning in Lagos before the protesters. It will not change anything. You know why it will not change anything? Because the people's condition is still the same.
Thank you.
They know how to go out early morning when they want to wage war against the citizens. But they don't know how to wake up early morning to make the economy better for the citizens. So this economic injustice, even if the protest does not commence today, there's another day. People will plot strategies. They will still protest. That's the truth. Because now the energy is expended on preventing the people from protesting rather than look into the demands and find something to do about it. We are talking about rice is now 40,000. Who cares about that?
I can't even find it anywhere.
You will not find it. And even when you see it, you will buy it for more than 100,000. You understand? So I don't think this is the way to go. So they should revert to what it is. I mean, that demand, I hold that very strongly. The one that said they should scrap the constitution, the president should do that. I don't agree because that is not practicable. But as to go back to what we used to buy for before he came to make that announcement, they should go back there and then take that money they say they are giving to governors now. They should retrieve it from governors, use it to pay that subsidy.
But Barrister, this is like asking for a fractured bone, to heal instantaneously.
It's not.
It doesn't look like that.
Okay, hold on. 1 year ago, how much were we buying that product? Were we not subsisting? Were we not living? They all of a sudden they woke up and said, you know what, this thing is making few Nigerians to become wealthy. Let's remove it. So that when we remove it, we'll save up money and we'll use it, that we'll get mass transit, transport for the people. You get it. You didn't do any of all that. Let's not think this thing is impossible. Nigeria is the only country on earth that is oil producing that buys fuel at this rate. We are not supposed to buy it at that rate. Because the truth is that, if not that the petroleum sector is highly regulated, it's highly regulated. Otherwise, we that are from Niger Delta, we don't have a problem. It's government that is putting regulation all over the place. We used to refine it ourselves. We refine the number of liters we want for that day. We use it to go out and come back. The next day we refine another one. Yes. So they now brought this regulation on it, and everybody is, because the Petroleum Act, the Mineral Resources Act, have said that anything that is beneath the earth belongs to the federal government, whatever it is. So now that regulation is what is affecting us. Otherwise, we that for Nigeria, we don't have any business with this thing they're saying. We don't have to buy it. We know where it is. We're going to take it from there, refine it, and start our cars and go to where we're going to.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Philip. Now, Emeka Madunago, even if Nigerians are saying that the subsidy should return, Nigerians should pay, there are policies that have been put in place that small business would not be able to thrive on, because now they're asking for emergency funds for small businesses. Now, in as much as they're looking at the subsidy removal or the subsidy coming back, don't you think they're supposed to look at the policies that would actually help small businesses thrive? Because a lot of students in school today, even if you're going to talk about the education, they are small businesses. They actually have a business. Don't you think the policies are supposed to be looked into too?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy you took it from the angle of small businesses. Let me extend something that Barrister said. He talked about, artisanal refining of crude. Now, the federal government came out to say that big names in Nigeria are taking over the soil minerals industry. So, they have been relying on who? Artisanal miners. Can you see where the government keeps contradicts itself? We are fighting artisanal refiners of crude. But you are making deals with artisanal miners who actually even gave you the gold bars that the President Bola Tinubu displayed last month. These things are in the public domain. Two, you talk about small businesses. Every business needs power. You now put discrimination in power supply. Against what the Constitution says that no Nigerian shall be discriminated against. In terms of status, even if he's a poor man, you cannot discriminate against them. There's no religion in the world that says you should discriminate against anybody. No. Talk about small businesses. How do they operate with fuel at 750 per litre? No power. Fuel is expensive. Then those who are small-scale farmers, subsistence farmers, cannot go into their farms. Because you know why? Herdsmen have taken over the farms. The roads are bad. You're not fixing the roads. You remove subsidy of fuel, right? We thought you were going to take this money and use it to revive the refineries, at least 2. Let's get fuel locally. You see, there are optics that, you can use to get people, to cooperate with you. But the problem with these people is that they are so full of themselves. You had one of them saying yesterday that while people are protesting, they'll be eating. When a man's...
Now, Deputy Senate President too.
No, that's Senate President.
Yeah, Akpabio.
That's it too. When a man descends to base instincts of eating, there's a problem. Such a society can never be taken seriously. Because, let me tell you, I've been talking about protests in Nigeria. Let me tell you, there are protests all over the world. There's one of my friends who is a medical doctor in Ireland. We are classmates in secondary school. They posted, the protesters want to remove government. They want to do this. I now asked him, okay, you live in Ireland, and there have been protests against mass migration. Even the Prime Minister said he deplored the violence because some people brought flares and other things at the protest. He deplored it. I said, why haven't you said anything? He said, does that mean that people should talk of changing government? I said, the people in Ireland talk about changing government. Since then, he has disappeared from the forum. Because it's always so, he has disappeared because I gave it to him. Like Sun Tzu said in the 33 Strategies of War, strategy 16. If you want to deal with a troublemaker, hit them where it matters most. That is by the way. So, now, how can small businesses thrive? Some economists have said it's wrong to judge Nigeria's economy based on GDP. Because 70% of Nigeria's economy is informal.
It's informal, you can't capture it.
So, how do you capture it? They are bookie by your gate. He doesn't pay taxes. He may not even have a bank account. He may not even have an NIN.
And he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. So, how do you capture him? And you take a look at all these laborers everywhere. Bus drivers, name them. How do you capture them? They are not banked. They are not taxpayers. So they just live freely.
And they defecate on the expressway.
So they cause a nuisance because you know what? There isn't a deliberate effort to capture them
as statistics.
Because a citizen will not do certain things. So what do you have? is an economy that is basically informal. You must focus on that economy and do your best to get that economy. In some countries, do you know what the government are talking about? They're talking of taking rail transportation to areas that people don't want to go to. They want people to go there, build houses and live there. Build houses, build schools, build markets, build factories and live there. So that they can decongest the cities. But what is government, the one on Nigeria doing? They have made the poor in the rural areas. So they have made poverty so widespread in the rural areas that you walk here. Previously when we were growing up, people in the village will send gari, will send palm oil, and all those things. So now we are the ones buying gari and sending to people in the rural areas. Like that, my parents, since my parents passed on, and I took over the family house, we don't see this oil palm or called banga. I keep asking them, any of this fruit you don't see, nothing. Why? Because the people there, when they pluck the pear and everything, they take to the market, sell, so that I don't have the resources to be subsidizing their. So fine, they pluck mangoes, they pluck everything and go and sell, no problem. That is how bad the situation is going in Nigeria. So focus on the poor. What the protesters are talking about. You see all those demands. People can make 50 demands, reasonable and unreasonable. It is part of the process of protest. The police are over Lagos, but as I understand, now the commissioner of police has got to catch on that bridge where the protesters gathered, and he's talking to them, he's appealing to them. Why? The court said, go to Freedom Park, go to Peace Park. You have surrounded those areas.
So why did they go there?
What are you doing? Why can't people look? A friend of mine said in the 80s, there was a conference, attended by senior military officers, generals and all that. Then after the conference, he told them, so in the 90s, he told them that, do you know that Nigeria might descend into situations of insurgency because of, especially the Niger Delta. They said it's not possible, it can't happen. Nigerians don't want to die. Nigerians, they love life. He said some years later, he asked them, okay, Alpha, what is happening in Niger Delta? It's not just Niger Delta, it's now everywhere. To the extent that you're talking of kidnappers, let me tell you, kidnappers are local people now. Local people who arrange to kidnap their own kid and kin.
In fact, doing it for poultry sons.
So
now
let's deal with rural poverty. The idea that Lagos is a land of gold and is a lie. The idea that Abuja is a land where we make money is a lie. Let me tell you, if we have a leader like Lee Kuan Yew that can close the taps of corruption, I'm telling you the truth. You see a lot of all these flamboyance, it will disappear within 2 hours.
All right, let's take a look at this. Emeka talked about a confined protest, which the government has initiated. And particularly, let's take a look at that of Abuja. Just last night, the High Court in Abuja, gave a direction that protesters should go to Moshood Abiola Stadium. My question to you as a legal person is this: why does the judiciary, that should understand better, refuse to do what they should do, particularly knowing that this is a case law? Are they acting on the part of golden rule or mischief rule in this particular case? Of course, knowing that it is the right of the people under the Constitution, and their reaction is a case law, which does not in any way speak to the Constitution.
The court haven't said people should not protest. Okay. The court did not initiate the suit. A court does not file case for itself. People approach the court. And when they approach the court, they make prayers before the court. They ask the court for certain issues based on their demands and prayers, what they want the court to see. The court, knowing fully well that there's a constitution, okay, the court will look at the case, the fact of their case and their prayers, and look at the law. What is permissible under the law is what a court will grant. Sometimes, even when you come with prayers, the court can make consequential orders outside your prayers. Okay, the court can do that. That is why the omnibus part of every application is, and for such further orders as this honorable court may deem fit to grant in the circumstance. That's usually the last prayers, so that in case you have missed any of the thing, any of the issues you want to address, the last prayer, the omnibus rule, the court could use that to exercise jurisdiction. Okay, so the court has not done anything wrong as far as I'm concerned. It has not said you should not protest.
But why confine it to a particular place when they know it's not
The
incompatible
court
with what the
has to
Constitution
take
says?
judicial notice of the happenings in society. Part of the responsibility of the court is to protect civil society and to make sure that while citizens are exercising their rights, they do not encroach on other people's rights. Okay? Because under the law, there's what they call nuisance. If I step out from my house this morning and cut a big tree across Lagos Ibadan Expressway now, that's nuisance. The law and the rights of citizens are not absolute. That is why Section 45 empowered the National Assembly to derogate on those rights, to limit those rights when there is a tendency that the exercise of that right or the excessive exercise of that right may encroach on the right of another person. Okay. Of course, if I want to protest, I could say my style of protest is to cut a big tree across the road. But what would that will also impede another man's right of movement, which is also recognized by the Constitution. So we say in law that a man's right to swing his hands ends where another man's right to defend his nose begins. You cannot say because you have freedom of your body to exercise your body the way you like, then use your hand and be hitting people at their noses. They will sue you for assault and battery. You understand? So for civil society to be possible and for social cohabitation to be possible, the court will have to take judicial notice of these rights and ensure that people protest within the confines of what will not impede the right of others. The truth is that the Constitution has empowered you to protest. There is nowhere in the Constitution that is say in the process of your protest, ensure that you encroach on the life of fellow citizens. There will be chaos. Okay? So the court did not do anything wrong by asking people to go. Those facilities, some of the facilities in Lagos here, the Ojota, Ganifa Park, was specifically designed by the government for protest.
So which means what's happening in Lagos is right.
It's correct. It's designed for protest. You understand? And it is wrong for soldiers to go there with intention to prevent people from protesting when the court have said, go to this location to protest. Because what that will mean is that they have gone there in contempt. Except perhaps they went there to prevent the breakdown of law and order. But if they go there to restrain people, or not, then they are working against the orders of court.
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you. Now, Emeka Madunago, now I want us to go down. Let's look back at 2023. A lot of Nigerians were optimistic and they came out to vote, but things didn't go as planned. Now, a lot of Nigerians were looking forward to the protest to actually express their grievances and use it as a way to communicate to the government. And now they are being restrained with the security agents that are supposed to be those that are supposed to protect them. Do you think the purpose of this, or are you looking at it that by the end of the day, of using this as a case study, do you think from now to the end to 10th, the purpose for the protest will be achieved, one? And secondly, will this actually give citizens the heart to know that the leaders are listening and they could actually hear them?
First of all, the security apparatus of Nigeria today is still as rudimentary as the colonial administrators left it. So you can't bank on the security apparatus as it is right now to do justice and uphold, and uphold the Constitution. You can't bank on them. That is one. Secondly, you see, today Facebook just reminded me of a post I made exactly a year ago, asking Tinubu, you remove subsidy and you've seen that it didn't work. Why not restore it? And I posted it again. I said, look at it. It's like maybe it was like a prophecy. I said prophecy foretold. As if I was into the future that by this time next year, people will tell you boldly in your face that this is what you're not doing right. You see, the protests have been on, even from the very day, that very minute where he made that announcement. A lot of their followers, who went to Eagle Square, who traveled from different parts of the country to Eagle Square, were stranded. They traveled there for the inauguration, were stranded because fuel prices went up immediately. We are not asking, like the protesters are saying, they are not asking for policies. They're asking for results. Because policy, there are all kinds of policies, heaps of facts, policies that are failed policies. We are looking for, people-driven action. It's not difficult. For instance, if you cannot run the refineries, put them up for sale. It's simple. There's no hard and fast rule about it. Dangote built a refinery, the most modern refinery in the world. The last refinery in the US was built in 1975. More than 40 years ago. Almost 50 years ago, 1975. And somebody in the 21st century has built the largest single train refinery. And because of government policies, to use your word, government policies, they want to they want to frustrate it. How more thoughtless can people in leadership be? Would you not rather say, okay, let us work together? If there are issues between you and Dangote Refinery, they can be sorted out behind closed doors. Because Dangote can actually sue, and I think he should sue the head of the NMDPRA for giving his competitors unfair advantage. There's a crime called conferring unfair advantage. You gave privileged information about his business to his competitors. If I were Dangote, I'll sue the man.
Which is wrong.
So he should go and bring, first of all, he should tell you under the law, the relevant laws, where he's empowered to do such. It's a very serious offense around the world. So, to that extent, I just want to say very clearly, the people have come out to say that they are hungry. Good. If you know you don't want the protest, you say you're going to sell a 50 kg bag of rice at 40,000. Very simple now. The things that our government, they don't know people. Nigerians even help our leaders to think. Pack the bags of rice to Freedom Park, to Peace Park.
For the protests.
And say, okay, no problem, you have gathered, right? Call your family members. These are 200 trucks of rice. One trailer takes 600 bags. 600 times 200 is what? Okay, call people to come and buy, send an orderly file, and start buying the rice at 40,000. Practical action, right? Go to Abuja Stadium, where the court said you. Go there, start selling it. We want action. You have had notice of this protest for more than 3 weeks. You should have started taking action one after the other.
They won't take any action.
Minimum wage.
But don't you think Nigerians will see that as a largesse?
Largesse?
Yeah.
My brother, largesse that gets to your house, is there anything wrong with it? Largesse that you see, just audio, palliatives. Because the government of palliatives.
But to be fair,
palliatives that don't get to your house.
To be practical with you, if they do that, all those rice, the people will take it. They will break down that place and take those rice home as part of the protest.
So you know what? No, that one is very simple.
That was
like I said,
and they should do it.
I said it that instead of sharing rice to people, take the rice to the markets. Have you seen people go to market, say protesters, they enter a market? No, take the rice. Don't bring the rice to my house and don't give me free gifts, because tomorrow what you expect me to do, I will not do it. In Anambra State, the governor distributed the oil palm seedlings. I said people should fill forms and put. I told my kinsmen, I said, this is Arab nonsense. Don't you ever try such nonsense again. That was last year. So their own party people gathered it in and shared it. But this time around.
And they only give those that voters card.
Give them a never. This time around, you know what they did? They just said, okay, please, those who are interested, just in case. I sent my auntie, I said, go and collect it. It's my right as a citizen. Go and collect it and plant it in my compound. So that has been done without me writing any whatever.
But
so the thing is, take it to the flood the markets with food stuff. That's what people are asking for. If you flood the law of demand and supply, if you flood the markets, and it's very easy to do. You know why? You have off-takers, that are buying maize, buying cassava, and exporting them. They are doing legitimate business. Now, what do you do? Register off-takers that will also buy these things and take them to the farms. Take them to the markets. They know how to do it. Even with bad roads, businessmen who are into this thing. The problem we have is that our economy is still at that rudimentary stage. If you get businessmen and say, okay, invest in this, take it, you're going to get so and so and so incentives. They know what to do. You know what the question somebody asked? How come that soft drinks, you buy 350 in Lagos,
400,
and for 350, 400, even some 250, the ones in Glasgow, they are transported all over the country and sold at the same price. How come? And then fuel, you have 750 here, you have 560 here, you have diesel. Why? Then it's difficult to truck fuel. It's difficult to truck diesel. Who is deceiving who? Which one is heavier? Between fuel, diesel, and carrying crates of bottled drinks in glass bottles. Go to our hometowns.
But truthfully, Emeka, economically, in economics, we call that cost leadership strategy, and that's when companies, have, the lump, sum to produce as much as they can, so prices can come down. But of course, that is not feasible.
Companies are running away.
That's not feasible for Nigeria.
No. Let me tell you something. 200 years ago, man was just looking at the moon. This thing. Every night you see the moon. Until it got to a point where some people said, wait a minute. We want to go to that moon. And they made effort and they landed on the moon. Now they are trying to land, they are trying to take over space. My brother, you see this brain? It's a universe of its own.
All right.
Whatever you can think of, work for it. You are government. You have power. You can mobilize private capital. What is impossible? Nothing.
All right. Just before we wind up for this particular package, Barrister Vance Ofeli, where do we draw the line here? Do you think it's ever possible to have a consensus? Bayo Onanuga yesterday on the BBC said that there's no reason for Nigerians to protest, that those who are calling for protest are mischief makers. Now, knowing this is coming from a presidential aide, a media aide, which means, of course, he is towing in line with the president himself, are we ever going to have a consensus in Nigeria where the government will really come out to say, yes, we understand the plight of the people and we will do something about it?
He lied to the BBC service. He lied to... that interview was a big lie. He passed a very wrong information. While he was busy saying that, his boss is begging Nigerians. You understand? If I were to be the interviewer, I would have put that question across. But your guy is begging all over the place in the country. So the truth is that the president's handlers, they are part of his problem. We have seen that repeatedly. How that they are always not on the same page. Even when they travel with him, the handlers don't know what is going on. The last time they traveled with him, they came back and told us that they've lifted ban from Dubai. They went with these guys who gave this information, went with him. Now, this one is saying mischief makers. They are the one that Nigerians have no reason.
That's just a minute
number
of people.
When you say Nigerians have no reason to protest, what do you mean? people who are buying fuel for that amount have no reason. How much do they sell for in England? They don't have a drop of oil. How much are they selling it there? You understand? We that were sitting on it. So there are too many reasons to protest. Nigerians even delayed too much. They are supposed to start that protest the day Tinubu was inaugurated, the day he made that statement, the next day. That's the truth, because ever since then, nobody have known peace in this country. Ever since that time, nobody have known peace in this country. And it's wrong. So the handlers are not doing the right thing. The people surrounding him now, these the ones that have gone to the protest ground, the soldiers and all these people, those are part of Tinubu's problem. Okay? They feel that the citizens at all times must be repressed. At all times, they must be repressed, kept to the ground. But when people come to evaluate governance, it is the citizens they will look at. It does not matter the record you give them, or the statistics, or whatever it is, or the files you want. They will look at the citizens. Those who are graduates, how many of them are employed? Those who are school leavers, how many of them are in school, who are secondary school leavers, how many of them are in the university? Children who are supposed to be in school, how many of them are out of school? Those are the indices. So by the time we put all that together, we see that it's a great, we are failing terribly. So you see, the fact that you even have over 20 million children out of school is enough reason to protest.
The size of a country.
Yes.
Of another
it's
country.
just that. It's just that in Nigeria, we don't protest until we have been hit by hunger. That is, if not, the malfeasance we have in governance, just talk about environmental pollution. It's enough to protest. Talk about electricity. It's enough to go for protest. So they shouldn't be saying that to the BBC.
All right. Just to let you know, we have inside scoop on update of what's going on around the country, and right now we know that there have been deployments of security personnel around Lagos, particularly Ojota, Lekki, Ikeja, and other parts of Lagos, and of course in other parts of the country. And just to equally let you know that throughout today we'll be giving you updates on what's happening, so you understand what's going on in Nigeria. We'd love to say thank you to Emeka Madunago for being part of our show. But Stefan Feli, thank you also for being part of our show as always. Choma, there we have it. There we have it. And of course, just to say, please, if you must protest, please do it peacefully. We won't love to have a fragmented country. Nigeria belongs to everyone, one of us, and it falls upon us to maintain and preserve it. Please, we would love you to visit our website for more information at enterprisetvnews.com, and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Kwibike.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching, and we'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.